C'est parti. All aboard the night train. Hemmerhoorn!
Welcome back. Today we're going to talk about the Nicolai S16 MGU. In this video you will see we will talk about the first feel, the look of the bike sizes, the options available, the weight of the bike, shifting, the robustness of the bike, the real rider feedback, racing warranty, parts availability, the delivery time, Nicolay itself, and the future updates of the bike. I contacted Nicolay a month ago, 2 months ago, to say that I was interested in their new Saturn MGU. I am situated in Belgium, Nicolay is from Germany. They only can do test rides in Germany. So as a part of BBC enduro racing team in Belgium, I made contact with Nicolay and they set us up for a test day in Drielandenrijk, a small bike park in Germany, on the border of Belgium and the Netherlands. First time we went out there. So we set up a race day. Nicolay, Vincent himself, came with the 4 test bikes to us, and a few members of our team did a test day. The first feel of the bike. So when Vincent took out the bikes of his truck, we saw the bikes. They look fine. They look very, how you gonna tell it? Very real, handmade. Like you can see here, Scott Patron tuned. That's like a stealth bike, like a plane. But the Nicolay Saturn is a hand welded piece of machine, and it looks very strong. So first I want to tell you about the sizes. Vincent brought a large, medium and a small, and I think also he has an extra large. We started off with the correct sizes as given in the manual. So I took a large to test. The large bike, I'm a 1.86 m, and I think large go to 1.90 m approximately. I need to check. And it felt okay. I thought immediately that's my size. My colleagues took the medium and also a small bike. We have different sizes, and we changed the bike. So I also rode a size medium. It works a size medium, but I feel better on a large. So people that are thinking about the long wheelbase, the sizes given by Nicolay, the chainstays are different sizes than regular bikes. Go with your size given on the Nicolay website, or better as to test the bike yourself. About the options possible, as you can see in the test video, they brought one with the center screen. The bigger center screen is nice, it has a lot of information, but for our ride of styling, less is more. The less you have on your steering wheel, the less you can brake, because we crash often and we are often in the hospital, and even our bikes has to be often rebuilt. Less is more, so I wouldn't take the center screen for myself, but for people that use the bike for regular riding, it's a plus, because you can also connect it with your phone, you have navigation, etc, etc. So the screen is nice, but not for me. Then you can choose the battery. Like you can see in the video, we had the 720 and 900 or 980 watts. It's the same as the Bosch setup, so you can do approximately the same kilometers and height meters with the setup. For me, I prefer the smaller battery, so the bike is more streamlined and you win a little bit of the weight. But if you're a very long rider that does more than, like, I think 60-70 kilometers with 2000 height meters, then you need to look at a bigger battery. But for normal riding, the normal battery 720 is enough. The biggest thing is the weight, because our test people that I brought with me from BBC Enduro racing team, the one that rides, we have a Santa Cruz rider, he's a Bikepark, mostly Bikepark rider. Then we have Bobche, he rides the new Roland and Rise. He is an enduro rider, so he rides electric and also manual, we call it. And then you have myself. I am a lookalike enduro rider. I also do races, but I'm not the top rider in the team. And I ride this Scott Patra 900 tuned with a little bit less slack than an enduro bike, but it uses enduro suspension. So Regis, the Bikepark rider, he didn't complain about the weight. He said, I quote, the bike is very good balanced. What he meant is the weight is centered. So for people that want to jump the bike, it's easy, because when you pull the front wheel, it feels light, and the center of mass give you more control in the air. So he liked it. Nevertheless, the bike is heavier than a manual bike, because he rides a Bronson, a Santa Cruz Bronson, not electric bike, so you can see the difference in weight, but he felt comfortable. While jumping, he needed to increase his approach speed to clear gaps. And that is what happened with the bike on test day, but I will talk about that in a minute. Weight. The weight for Bobche, the enduro racer, his Orbea Rise and Ralen are less heavier than this bike, and his feedback is he almost feel that the bike ride itself. It's like a train on wheels. It's very steady, the bike, but he has lesser control. He wants to be the boss. He wants to be playful. So what he said, you can hear it in the video also, it's harder to work with the bike because of the weight. So everything you do in the air or manipulation is harder, but that's normal. His light bikes, the difference between his bikes and those bikes are a little bit bigger, so you need to work harder. And for myself, the first small jump I did with the bike, I immediately felt safe. The bike is predictable, the front is light enough to pull a wheelie or to manipulate on enduro tracks. I feel safe on that bike. Also the long wheelbase has to do with it, but for me that bike felt safe, and I felt immediately I can jump with ease and better, more controlled than with my tuned bike. Then we talk about the shifting. So the shifting as an issue on the internet, people are talking it's good, it's bad. So Pinion uses the electronic shifting. It's a gearbox, MGU gearbox, Moto gearbox unit, and it is good. The good thing about is you can shift when parked, so very easy. Like you can see in the video, we are going up to a slope and when you're up you can shift a low gear, so you can pedal when you're going down. So that is very good. But not everything is good. So my feedback and also my colleagues' feedback is negative. The auto shift function. The auto shift function is not something I will use in enduro riding. We tested. There's an option to change the cadans for when it shifts, but in enduro racing you want the bike to be predictable, and when you shift yourself it's predictable. So for now the auto shift option is not something I want to use while enduro riding. But it works fine, like for people riding in the park. For normal mountain bike riding it's fine, but for enduro riding I don't are used to it right now, and I don't think I will use it, maybe later in updates, but I love the feeling of shifting myself. And then we are talking about robustness. I can tell you, we tested it, we rode the bike for 3-4 hours, and we rode it hard, very hard. We had a few impacts, and I can tell you the two impacts my colleague had with this bike would break my frame, 100% sure. 100% sure. My Scott pattern is very fragile, or it feels fragile. I had already broken parts from enduro racing, but I can tell you it's a very, very robust bike. So I trust it a lot. My colleague did the crash that he made. I told immediately, if the bike survived that crash, I buy it. And the bike survived the crash 2 times. So I definitely need to buy this bike. It was not a hard crash, it was like an impact. So he jumped, he didn't reach his destination, and he cased with the motor on a wood log, because he already jumped it, that big jump with his own bike, with his Bronson. But you need to change your mindset, because the bike is heavier, you need more speed, and the left is a little bit more difficult. So it's a very robust bike. If you look at it, you can see the welding, you can see the CNC machining. It feels robust, like a carbon bike. I really gonna be honest, I came from carbon, I went back to aluminium, or I will go back to aluminium. Carbon is not for enduro racing. If you are racing, weight is less important. You need to have a bike that is that you can trust. If you are racing like 10 stages on 3 days, it's better to have something that is heavier and doesn't break, or something that is light and very fragile. That about how strong it is. And then we have talk about warranty. So I asked Vincent, what about crashing during racing, etc., and everything about the frame is protected by a 5-year warranty. I crashed my patron in a race. I broke my carbon seat stay, and I ended up paying for it. It's only 1 and almost 2 years now, 1.8 years. I crashed, and my carbon chainstay broke, and I had to pay. It was, I think, approximately 550 euros for the upper piece of carbon. So if you buy a Nicolay, you are protected without question. Also, Vincent told us, if you break, crash replacement without question. So that is something you buy with the bike as trust, reliability. So that is something I like. You have a 2-year normal warranty, as written for Europe. It's 2 years, and you get 5-year crash warranty on your frame. So that is very, very nice. Also, I asked about delivery time. The delivery time for this moment, as I speak, the 10th of November, is approximately 10 weeks. So from ordering to receiving, it's 10 weeks. We talked a little bit further also about what about the future of this bike. So Vincent told me they are working on a new battery for the pinion setup for the Nicolay, and they will so the 720 setup will be 800 watt hour. So they are working on it. So the battery will increase, and they will add it in their model. So on a time scale, they will change the battery with notice, but not for extra payment. And for the riders that will want to upgrade, it's possible to buy the battery on its own. So the 720 will be 800 and the 960 will be 1000 plus, I think. Also nice to be invited by Nicolay. If you buy a bike with Nicolay directly, they are very open. They are a small company, and they even say if you come to us, we can show you around the factory, and we're going to show you the trails around nearby the factory. So they are very open. It's impossible to feel that same of commitment like with Scott. Scott is a big brand. It's even impossible to talk to the importer of Belux. They don't send. Okay, that will be another video, but the communication with Scott is very bad for me. With Nicolay, I almost felt like it's my neighbor that I was talking to, and they also said for us it's difficult to be bad in communication and service because we are a small brand and we need to do good. Otherwise, for us, it's easy to go bankrupt or something else. So that mindset I needed. So I love that. To finish off, I'm gonna talk about our 3 riders. So myself, Regis, and our friend Bobcha. I will give them their feedback about the bike, the pros and the contras. Okay, so we have Regis. He is a Bikepark rider. He loved to ride Bikepark, but he also rides a lot of enduro. And his feedback is he rides a Santa Cruz Bronson, so he's not electric rider. What he didn't like is the auto shift. So we all 3 agree the auto shift is not something what we like about the bike. It's like an extra that comes with the system, but it's easier to shift yourself. Then he's talking about the screen and buttons that look outdated. Also we give our advice, not advice, we just give feedback to Vincent, and we all 3 said the same. It looked a bit outdated. So he explained to his opinion as coming from more city bike styled bikes, and that system is adapted to their enduro bike, but he thinks in the future it will change a little bit, but it looks outdated, but the functionality is perfect. So you have a lot of options you can change in the bike. Even with the small screen, you have the options. You can even change like the shifting button, the upper button is up or down. You can do a lot of things. So the functionality is perfect, but it's only the visual that for me looks outdated. But even the screen, if you look at it in the front, it's okay. But for me, if you have comparison like with Bosch or something, maybe then yeah, the layout can change. The second thing he didn't like about it, he said if you would ride without a battery, you can't shift. So the auto shift works internally and the motor, so if you remove your battery, he talks about that because he's a Bikepark rider, and in the beginning some people are removing their battery to ride lighter and a Bikepark. That's why he said it. So if you remove your battery, you can't shift. And also, please don't remove the battery of that bike and even other bikes. If the battery is on the outside of your bike, mud can enter, so don't do it. This pattern, you can remove the battery because it's inside the tube, but for other bikes, don't do it. Even the new Bosch systems, don't remove the battery. And then there are no negative points to his feedback. The first positive feedback, he said the balance point of the bike is in the middle, so he liked it a lot. It is easy to jump. That is because of the balance. The front wheels left very easy. He likes it. So the bike feels light. It is heavy on paper, but it rides light and it feels light while riding. The wheel sticks on the ground due to the long wheelbase. Really, the bike rides like a train. You need to ride it to experience how the bike rides. So, of course, my prior bikes are all Scots. I have like 4 frames on top. I have my pattern here. My little kid rides on the Scott Spark. I forgot the name. I come from Scott light bikes, carbon, but the Santa Cruz, the Nicolay rides like a train. I can't repeat it enough. It really rides. For me, it's perfect. And the big battery is nice for long day shredding. So the 720 battery, you can compare it with the Bosch system. The 750 or 720 is the same setup. It all depends how you ride it. You put it on the fast mode or the slower mode, you will increase or decrease your power. So you can, it's same like Bosch. And really, if you're a normal rider, enduro rider, you don't need the bigger battery. You can go for the normal battery. Then we have Bobje, the enduro racer. He rides the Orbea Rise and Rallen. He didn't like the auto shift. Like I said before, we all 3 didn't like the auto shift. Then he didn't like the weight of the bike. He says the bike almost weighed itself, and he wants to be the boss of the bike. That is his feedback. Don't forget, Bobje, as an enduro racer, he rides very top end level Orbeas that are very light. So the weight he doesn't like. What he likes about the bike, they have a lot of adjustments, and the setup, like I said before, the setup, the program of pinion, you can change a lot of things that he likes. It's a quiet motor. People are talking about the motor and make noise. It's a quiet motor. Let me tell you, it's a quiet motor. You go downhill, it's quiet. You go uphill, it makes a little bit sound, but it's not something to care about, because the sound is really, it's nothing to talk about even. You hear it and first, the second, third, fourth, but if you ride normal and you don't put power in, it's quiet. So, quiet motor. The geometry of the bike is perfect, he said. He rode the medium and large. He can ride both, but for him the medium was better because he has like 1.70 m and a little bit, so the medium was perfect for him. And also a strong motor. Strong and power and strong and impact. Like I told before, our Bikepark rider did a big jump. He cased it 2 times on the motor. Not a big deal, not a case that you throw out your bike, but he cased it. It made a good impact and the bike was fine. If I would do it with my Patron, you already see I have the Amigos protection on it. I definitely would break my frame. I'm not 200% sure. If I cased that like he cased it with the Nicolay, my bike was ruined, 100%. And then the feedback for myself. So my previous bikes I ride like for more than 25, yes, almost 30 years I ride Scott. I was a Scott fanboy. My previous bike, so my current bike as a Scott Patron tuned 900 from the year 2022. My bike before this was a Genius 930. My bike before that was the Scale. So I went from XC to Enduro, and now that is my last Scott bike I bought. The Scott is not a bad bike, it's a good bike, but for my riding style now and my lack of experience, the Nicolay is better. Because why? It's a stronger bike and I feel much safer on the bike. I can ride harder on the bike. I need to work a little bit more because the weight, but the work I put in is safer. It feels safer and I went faster. I have my Strava times for a new bike, so I prefer, for me personally, the Nicolay before this tuned bike. This bike is a very good bike, even for enduro riders, but that bike is the best layout for people that are genius riders and want to ride electric. If you're a trail rider, that bike it's okay, but if you are more in the hardcore stuff, you will surpass this bike and it will start to break. So very nice bike, but not for my style of riding anymore. I grew a little bit in extreme enduro and that bike is too fragile to handle me. And to finish, auto shift I didn't like. The standstill weight I don't like much also. What I mean, when the bike is stationary you can feel the real weight. So if I remember, it's 7 kilo, I need to check. This bike 2 years ago was top spec, that is 24, I remember. You feel the difference. So in a standstill it's a little bit heavier, but a bike is made to be ridden, so standstill weight doesn't matter. It only matters when you need to take your bike in the air and put it on over a pass or something, then it's heavy, it's heavier. Outdated buttons I don't like. With outdated I want to mean they look like old-fashioned. There are not, but for my feel it's a little bit old-fashioned. I think they will change it in the future. It's not a cheap bike, it's an expensive bike. It's in the same range of this bike. I can see if Scott makes like this kind of bike, it has it's carbon fiber, so to make it, it's expensive. Also Nicolay need to make it with CNC, but the aluminium is a little bit cheaper I think than carbon, but still it has like a top level price. Okay, the pinion setup is I think expensive. It's a small company, I support small companies, but it's expensive. But I think when I feel okay about it and it do my needs, I'm happy with it. So for me it's no problem. And then the positive things about the bike, it's a balanced bike. Shifting while standing still is perfect. We went up like on a hill with you have also the walk button, and then you can shift in a heavy gear, so you can pedal when you're going down if necessary. The geometry for me is perfect in size large. I have the perfect geometry. The bike is very strong and the feel also of the bike is very strong. It's like a tank. And what I experienced of the test bike, the suspension setup I never felt a suspension setup like that bike. The test bike I used was a large. It had also the Fox 38 Kashima, but with the grip 2. Here there's no grip 2 damper. That's the damper you can change the air chamber with a shifter. And the rear, it had a coil, I think it's the DPX or DXP from Fox, I didn't remember, but a coil suspension. And the setup was great. When I talked to Vincent, if I buy this bike, I need that setup. The same suspension, the same numbers, I need that one because it feels something I never felt before. So I think my setup is bad on my bike because the other bike was much better. So I will check my setup. I will want to change it. I hope I can feel a bit more the Nicolay bike. That's it about this video. We rode een geladen Fahrrad Aachen met 3-landen-rack in Aachen, Germany. It's near the border of Belgium and the Netherlands. It's on a 3-point park. And you can go to the website Geladen Fahrrad Aachen. These are people that built the Bikepark. And if you go, please visit their website. And they ask like a small fee to enter the Bikepark. There's nobody there, but you can pay a small fee. They ask it also. If you see the Bikepark, you will understand why. They did a very nice job, very nice things they built. So if you go, I think it's €12, and then you can enter the bike park for a whole year. So if you come back, you're fine. And summertime, when they are there, they will ask you to show proof that you paid. So support to the people that are building parks and also keeping them rideable. So please go to their website and buy the guest card for Bikepark 3-landen-rack in Germany. Yes, I think I finished the video. There will be another video about the last days of my patron. So my bike will go up to sale. First I will get a new frame. I will talk about another video. I got the frame is ready and I need to bring my bike to Scott to change the frame. And the next video of the second video I will make will be about the Nicolai S16 MGU. So I already did my order and now I need to wait till my bike will be available for me. So thanks for watching. If you have any questions about the Nicolay bike or Scott Patron bike or something, please ask in the comments. And as maybe some of you will ask, what is BBC about? It's not what you think. BBC stands for Broken Bicycle Club. We are an enduro club in Belgium since I think 2013. I can't remember. I need to check the papers. And what's the difference about an XC team and an enduro team? If you're more an enduro rider, you can join BBC. We have experienced riders, and the best thing to learn is from people that are better than you, and you can climb a lot in your possibilities for riding a bike. So in the 2 years of the year and a half that I am active in the BBC enduro team, my skills went like double up. But remember, when your skills go up, you break bikes more often and you sometimes finish in a hospital, but that's part of the job. So see you, thanks for watching, and if you have something that you want to know, just ask. Bye.
There's no tire sponsoring.
No?
No tire sponsoring.
Ze zijn niet sponsored voor de banden. But we can take his tires of his bike.
Yeah.
Hey, nieuwe banden, ja.
Dai, dai, che ne giusto le pone, poche rin.